Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about saving some money with some generic Walmart food items that I've tried that are already good to go. Alright folks, welcome back. So one of the reasons I'm doing this video and why I picked Walmart first, we're going to go into that, is because I know now with the shortages of certain items, you're going to start seeing a lot of unusual items on your shelves. Things that you're not used to seeing because they can't get the brand name item. Okay, and we'll get into brand name and generic in a second, or off-brand or store brand. So that's why I decided to do that. And I chose Walmart because Walmart has tons of different house brands and generic items in several industries, including food, clothing, and housing supplies. But not all of Walmart store brands are of equal quality. So I wanted to let you know I chose Walmart because, well, it's the biggest food retailer where I live. Most preppers here hit Walmart first to find food. And I want to let you know the items that I have in the past purchased and found them to be just as good as the brand name stuff. Now, before we get started, people often refer to items, store brand items, as generic, okay? Store brand and generic are not really the same thing, and you can kind of distinguish that by their packaging. The store brand may closely resemble an advertised brand or product, just be a name you're not familiar with. So if we look at, say, the macaroni and beef, that kind of looks a little like the Chef Boyardee can, right? Whereas a generic product, packaging is usually much more plain. A can of soda may just be labeled cola with a red banner on it, and that's it. So there is a little bit of difference. So what we're really talking about today, in large part, are store brand items, all right? Now, don't get me wrong, a generic food product may be of lesser quality or may not be. But you have to find out. In some cases, generic products might be equal to anything else you might buy. And a little dirty secret of all this is a lot of the companies that make great value foods also make the regular brand name foods. Walmart has deals with them to sell them a little bit cheaper. So yeah, there may be a few corners cut here and there as far as how much of an ingredient is put in something, not as far as quality or safety, but they're the same manufacturers making them. So for this video, I'm going to show you some items I have stocked over the years that I've found to be, as I say, just as good, and I hate that expression because a lot of times it isn't just as good, but these are just as good as the name brand. I went shopping to rotate out some of my, my stock the other day, and these were items, now of course I bought a lot more than one of each, but these are items that I purchased and rotated out the old with the new, and I wanted to show you some of the things that I got. So we're going to start off over here, okay? The first thing here is this new ramen soup that they've been selling. I guess they're having trouble getting the Manchurian or whatever it is, ramen soups. So this is the new stuff that they've been selling in there. I have tried it. I have used it. It is very, very good, actually. To be honest with you, the noodles in this are a little bit less dense and starchy than the brand name ones. So that's definitely a win right there, okay? Next up is the Great Value tomato sauce. I like the tomato, basil, and garlic myself. It's in a glass can, so you don't have to worry about the can going bad. You just have to worry about the seal up here if it pops. It has a best by date of November 28th, 2023, but trust me, they last a lot longer than that. You don't have to throw it out after that date. Remember, folks, a best by date is just that. They're saying this product is best by this date. Doesn't mean it's going to go bad on that date. So I want people to understand that. Now, next up is kind of a two-for thing here. I have a total of 11 products, as I mentioned in the title, but this is a twofer, and this is Butterfield Farms, okay? They're diced ham and they're roast beef. Tried both, awesome stuff, really, really good. Honestly, they are just as good as the Swanson stuff for the ham, and I like a little bit of ham thrown into stuff sometimes with eggs or whatever, kind of adds a little bit of heartiness to your breakfast or whatever, but this is really good stuff. The roast beef, awesome. I mean, seriously, you open it up and, well, when you open up roast beef, some people are kind of grossed out because there's white fat in there and everything. Trust me, the meat is awesome, and the Butterfield stuff is really good to go. Next up, corned beef hash. I have tried this stuff before from Great Value, never had an issue with it. Honestly, I find that the Great Value stuff seems to last a little bit longer as far as freshness goes. You can kind of taste a little difference in the brand name after, 4 or 5 years. This stuff seems to be just as good as the day you purchased it. Now, here's one of those items that's been showing up because I guess they can't get the regular tamales, and this is Derby here. I don't have a ton of these derbies. I have mostly the older ones, the older brand name tamales, because derby I'd never seen before. But I purposely went out and bought a few cans to try it out with some rice. This stuff's amazing, and they taste exactly the same as the brand name. Next up, great value macaroni and beef and tomato sauce. Chef Boyardee stuff, we all have it. It's good. Again, none of this is health food. This is survival food. So these are not. This is not something you want to eat every day. But I will tell you that the Great Value brand of all of the Chef Boyardee type entrees is excellent. No problems whatsoever. I suspect it's probably made by Chef Boyardee. Next up, we've got the cheese dip over here. I'm going to try to walk around my camera so I don't knock into anything. Now, cheese dip is weird, okay? And I'll tell you why I store cheese dip, okay? Cheese dip I use as cheese. Now, I have powdered cheese. I have all that stuff. But for years, I didn't. And then I made the mistake of storing the big Velveeta blocks, because they're shelf-stable. But what happens is after about a year, those Velveeta blocks become rubber. They won't melt. They won't do anything. And what I've found with the cheese dip is, heck, I've opened this up 4 or 5 years after its best buy date, and it's perfectly fine. After you open this, you do need to refrigerate it, or at least keep it cool. What I use this for is cheese for, say, burgers, hot dogs, recipes that call for cheese, whatever. This is what I use it for. I do have, of course, cheese powder. I have the cheese cans of cheese, the canned cheese. And that stuff lasts pretty long time. One of the disappointments was I couldn't bring you the Walmart brand macaroni and cheese because, believe it or not, they were out of that and they had a ton of Kraft. That stuff is good as well. Now, a little hint with storing macaroni and cheese. If you store macaroni and cheese, make sure you're storing the powdered kind. I know it takes milk or some kind of liquids to make it, right? Powdered milk is great with it. If you store the ones that come with a little tin foil with the cheese in it, after about, I would say, 6 or 7 months or a year, that cheese gets so hard and again turns rubbery and can't melt. So you don't want that when you're dying for some food and you pull out this thing and it's a glob of cheese that won't melt into your macaroni. So this is why I choose this here. Again, it's got the little safety button on top, so if that pops up, the seal's broken and you might want to toss it out if it's not been used yet. If you use it, you of course want to refrigerate it. Next up, Armor Treat. Now, this is kind of similar to the baked ham. It's a cross kind of between, those canned hams that come in the oval can and Spam. It is really good, but definitely a whole lot cheaper and a whole lot better than the big canned hams that, you alone probably wouldn't be able to eat. It's also lower in calories. Now, what's the sodium on this? 800 milligrams for one serving. So this has 2 servings in it. So that's, 1,600 milligrams of sodium. So if you're on a low sodium diet, you definitely want to steer away from high sodium canned meats. But if you don't mind it, you don't mind the sodium content, really, really good stuff, honestly. I've never had an issue with it at all. It stays just as good as Spam. Very long periods of time, no problems whatsoever. Next up, for those of you that like hot sauce with your food. Now, I like hot sauce with my food because sometimes you come across something that isn't that great, all right? It's always, with MREs, there's always a thing of hot sauce. You ever notice that? Food can be bland, all right? This helps kind of spice it up a bit. It is not crazy, ridiculous hot. So if you don't like stuff that burns your throat, this will be fine. You don't want to use a ton of it, of course. But this stuff stores very well, this Great Value hot sauce, and works very well for whatever your uses are of it. I've never had hot sauce ever go bad on me. I had a bottle of hot sauce that was at least 15 years old. Still good as new when I went to use it. A little bit spicier, though, but not a problem with it whatsoever. So, the Great Value brand, perfectly good to go with. Lastly, I'm going to show you something that I've been using in my my little homemade MRE type things. And these are these little entrees with chicken and pork. Now, you can buy the brand name of these, and they cost, in the $2 range. These are $1.25 or $1.35, I forget. So you're saving some money, and they're good to go. Now, somebody asked me about storage on these and how long they last. I had 2 of these along with some Hormel Completes, which I really can't find anymore. The bags, not the round plastic trays. I had 2 of these in my range bag for when I worked at a gun shop, and where we worked was about 25 miles away from home. And yeah, you know, you'd be leaving at 4 in the morning to get there by 5 or whatever. You know, it was early morning, and you would forget stuff sometimes. Honestly, I would forget my lunch. Now, they did have a food thing out there, a food truck, but it was way expensive. So I always stuffed a couple of these and a couple of the Hormel Completes in there, the bags, and just in case, you know, I used them. Well, in the, let's see, I worked there from 2012 to 2017. In that whole time, I never ate these. Never ate them. They were just at the bottom of the bag. Now, yeah, the bag got beat up a little bit. They got, you know, folded and beat up and started peeling up a little bit. But the bag integrity stayed fine. And when they finally closed the shop up and moved away, I went and opened them up. And I was real careful. I did a little smell test. All right, I don't know. I ate the thing and it was perfectly fine. Good as new. So, just to give you some ideas, I know money's tight right now. And if you can go and get the off-brand stuff, be it either generic or store brand, these are the brands that I've tried from Walmart. Now, we're going to do other stores, okay? We're going to do other stores, other dollar stores and stuff, some of the generic stuff I buy there. But I wanted to start with Walmart because I know for a fact there's a lot of preppers that shop there, and it's a whole lot easier to just show you the stuff here and say, this is what I purchased and I know it's good, okay? So that's the start. And also, too, when you're shopping, make sure you pay attention. Remember how this was supposed to be a video on off-brand items? And I come home with Swanson chunk chicken breast. That's why this wasn't in the video. So that's 11 items from Walmart that you can easily put your faith in and eat and store. And again, even though I say these are good, I want you to go out and test them yourself. If you like tamales and you've always bought the store brand and you buy these and you think they're nasty, hey, by all means, don't buy them. You know, I'm not telling you you have to buy the generic stuff to save money. No, not at all. Again, it's about personal preference. And when it comes to prepping foods, you want to eat what you store and store what you eat. But these are the items that I have had from Walmart for quite a while. They're generic stuff, and I've really never had any issues with it. It's all been just as good as the brand name. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our links down below. Below here, we have our freeze-dried wholesaler link. That will save you 15% on any of his freeze-dried food. It is all packed in bags, 25-year shelf life. It's got its oxygen absorber in there, so everything is good to go. And you'll save 15% by using my link. Anything you want. There's no club to join. There's no nothing. You just click that link and boom, you save 15%. Below that is our Amazon affiliate store. Most of the stuff I try to put in the store, you know, most of the stuff I review, I try to put in the store if it's not there, so you can see what, you know, if I forget a detail of how long something is or how heavy it is, you can go there and check it out, as well as see out the products if you want to purchase them. We have our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. Preparewithiridium.com. They are running some amazing deals this month on bulk storage food. And our Thrive Life link as well. And again, with Thrive Life, there is nothing to join. You don't have to join anything to try the food out. You can go there and purchase whatever you want. You don't have to join a club or join a reseller or become a distributor. None of that. You just go there and try it out and see if you like it. If you like it, then you can be a delivery customer or maybe a consultant. But to start with, just try it out and see if you like it. So the next time you're heading to Walmart, you can make sure to add some of these generics or store brands to your cart. And I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.